Hi guys, you are watching or listening to the Shift Training Podcast,
where we talk about personal development, we talk about physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health, and just overall well-being.
And today we're going to talk about humility, modesty, timidity, and meekness. So we're going to start with humility. I was talking about being humble. You know what I'm saying?
Being humble.
Humble.
What do you think? What do you think of the word humility or humble?
See, people are not going to like what I'm about to say. So if you look at the definition of humility, something about, in short, a low estimation of one's own worth or ability. So basically just putting your head down, almost like all the way forehead to the ground down. And that's related to the definition of humble or humility. What do you think, Ron?
I think for me, humility or humbleness is all about honesty. I think if you want to be humble or you want to have more humility, you want to spend more time with people that are better than you. So that way you can be tested. If you've been spending with people that are like average or below your level, it's going to be hard to get to the next level or hard to be humble because you're the best one on the group or on the team.
I think that's a good point. I think that putting yourself in an environment where, let's say you're trying to grow in a particular skill, or develop certain, habits, putting yourself around a group of people who are far more skilled will naturally humble you because it will naturally, your forehead will naturally go down. But I think the whole thing about humble, humility, and humiliation all serve the same point. And I think it's one of those things we should be mindful of because I don't think we should strive for being humble.
Yeah.
I don't think we should really practice that. See, I feel like unless your ego is out of control, if your ego is out of control, you probably should practice humility for your own benefit. But I wouldn't be the one to tell you that because the person telling you be more humble is telling you, hey, yo, you need to stop thinking so highly of yourself. You need to put your forehead down. And it might be true, but it might also be them trying to control a situation or to make sure you view yourself lower so you can't combat with them about control and authority and power and force. So I don't know if that's always a good idea to be humble.
Yeah, I think there's a caveat on that, how being too humble could be destructive for yourself, because if you are too humble, you're not really showing your true self to other people if you're just keeping it to yourself.
Playing small.
Exactly. And it's better to be bold, be audacious, and get to the other side. And then when you become more arrogant along the way, then that's easy to correct, right? But if you're too humble, you're over here. There's a saying where it says, it's greener on the other side. But if you're too humble, you'll never see that other side. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I would say the next note, let's just think else. We talk about humility.
Yeah.
I say modesty.
I think modesty is better than humility.
Modesty,
word is
100%.
much better than humility.
Yeah. So modesty is a moderate estimation of oneself or one's own abilities. So humility is basically head all the way to the ground, thinking you're not worth dirt. And modesty is a moderate estimation, meaning you understand your weaknesses, a little bit of your low points, a little bit of your high points. You understand in a moderate way where you kind of stand in any situation. And I feel like that is far more valuable because it means when you might not need to be so arrogant or bold or loud or however people view that, and times where maybe you need to speak up and be a little bit more vocal. What do you think, Ron?
Yeah, I totally agree with all of what you said. I think people that are modest, they don't brag about their own achievements in life, whatever it is, just to feed their ego. And as we mentioned earlier, modest is better than being humble.
100%.
Yeah. So what do you think of timidity?
Ooh, timidity is one of your favorites. I know you don't like that word.
I don't like that word.
Tell me about timidity, Ron. I know you don't like that one.
I think timidity is showing a lack of courage. So every time I'm timid or every time you are displaying timidity towards other people, it's hard to connect with others because you are not showing your true self. And your true self is courageous, someone who wants to connect with others.
I think that's an interesting point. You know how we talk about vulnerability being required for connection, right? So imagine that you're in a place of timidity. Timidity, like you said, is showing a lack of courage or confidence. Confidence, courage, and being stuck in quick to respond via fear, right?
Yeah.
So how vulnerable can you be if you're stuck in a fear response? Can't be. So it means you can't connect if you're stuck being timid.
Exactly.
It just seems to make sense. Not just because, oh, I'm too shy or too timid to go approach something. Yeah. But in reality, in the operation of fear, when you're in that, you cannot open and be vulnerable. And therefore you cannot establish connection with another person.
Yeah, it doesn't have to also be just in regards of connection with others. It could also be with the goals that you have with your activity, whatever it is.
Can't get after it.
Exactly. If you want to play basketball, you want to dance, if you show some timidity, you'll never try or even, do it. And it's okay to do it, have that courage, take some risks than not you trying it.
Right.
Because you're going to learn some lesson from it and build some resilience.
That's right. So it's worth it. You got to tell it timidity. No, that's also playing small. Humility and timidity, playing small. Modesty, good moderation. Next one is meekness.
Meekness.
M-E-E-K, for those who do not know the word meek. Meekness means patient, long-suffering, yes, impressionable, but it does not mean you become dominated. The best way I was taught this a long time ago was imagine a horse. A horse can be meek. You can ride a horse, but don't ever be mistaken about what that horse can do to you while you're riding the horse. Horse could just toss you and buck you and it'll be game over for you.
That's it. Horse
is patient, long-suffering. It can be kind, impressionable, but it is not without power. It is not weak.
So I see this word as something as shy. So there's a difference between timidity and shy for me. Timidity, as we talk about, lack of confidence, lack of courage. And shyness, you could be shy, but that doesn't mean you can walk over this person. He will bite you like a dragon.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, so I'm shy, but I'm powerful.
I never thought about shy like that. That's interesting. I want to process that. Well, I think that's it for humility, modesty, timidity, and meekness. I would say gravitate away from humility to modesty. Gravitate away from timidity to meekness. What do you think, Juan?
I agree.
All right. Is there anything else?
That's it for us.
All right. Where can they find us?
Don't forget to follow us on our social media, Shift Own Your Life. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, Shift Training.
All right, guys. Thank you. We appreciate you. And we hope that you have a fantastic weekend. Peace.